You walk into a grocery store on a Saturday afternoon. On one side of the aisle, a shiny red apple sits under a sign that says organic, $2.49 each. A few feet away, there's another apple, just as red, just as round, but with a small price tag that says 99 cents. You stop for a moment, holding one in each hand, and you ask yourself, is it really worth paying more for organic food? This question isn't just yours. It's one that millions of people around the world are asking every single day. Over the past 2 decades, the demand for organic food has exploded. Supermarkets now have entire aisles dedicated to it. Farmers' markets are booming. And the global organic food market is worth over $150 billion and still growing. We see organic labels everywhere, on milk, eggs, fruits, snacks, even pet food. The word itself feels powerful. It whispers pure, safe, healthy, and eco-friendly. But what if I told you that organic doesn't always mean what you think it means? Today, we're going to take a deep dive into what organic food really is, how it's grown, what science says about its health benefits, how it affects the planet, and whether it's truly worth the price. So grab your coffee, organic or not, and let's separate facts from marketing myths.
Before we can answer whether organic is better, we have to understand what organic actually means. The term isn't just a marketing buzzword, it's a legal classification. In most countries, including the United States, the European Union, and many others, organic food must follow strict regulations set by national certification bodies. For example, in the US, the USDA organic label means that crops are grown without synthetic pesticides, fertilizers, genetically modified organisms (GMOs), sewage sludge, or ionizing radiation. Instead of using chemical fertilizers, organic farmers rely on natural compost, manure, and crop rotation to maintain soil fertility. They use beneficial insects to control pests instead of spraying synthetic insecticides. They try to work with nature, not against it. When it comes to animals, organic means they're raised without antibiotics or growth hormones. They must have access to the outdoors, fresh air, and organic feed. So yes, organic farming often looks more traditional, more old-fashioned, and many consumers feel it's more ethical. But here's the catch. Organic doesn't mean chemical-free. Organic farmers are still allowed to use certain pesticides, they just have to be derived from natural sources. And natural doesn't always mean safe. For example, copper sulfate, a natural pesticide, can be toxic to aquatic life if it enters waterways. So, while the process is more eco-conscious, the end product isn't magically chemical-free or necessarily healthier. Organic farming is more about philosophy and method, not necessarily about guaranteed health superiority.
This is the million-dollar question. Are organic foods actually better for your health? Let's look at what science says. Dozens of studies over the past decade have compared the nutritional content of organic and conventionally grown foods. Some of these studies found that organic produce can have slightly higher levels of certain vitamins and antioxidants, like vitamin C, polyphenols, and omega-3 fatty acids in organic milk or meat. For example, a 2014 meta-analysis published in the British Journal of Nutrition found that organic crops had up to 69% more antioxidants on average. That sounds impressive, right? But when you look closer, the difference isn't huge enough to make a major health impact for most people. You'd have to eat twice as many fruits and vegetables to get the same antioxidant boost you could get from switching to organic. And here's another point. Organic foods are not necessarily lower in calories, sugar, or fat. A cookie made with organic sugar is still a cookie. In other words, organic junk food is still junk food. When it comes to pesticide residues, yes, organic produce usually has lower levels, but conventional produce is also carefully regulated. The amount of pesticide residue allowed on food is far below levels that could harm humans. Washing and peeling your fruits and veggies can reduce residues even more, whether they're organic or not. So while there may be small differences in nutrients or chemicals, the overall impact on your health depends much more on what you eat and how much, not just whether it's organic. A diet filled with colorful fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins, organic or conventional, will always be far healthier than a diet filled with ultra-processed foods.
One of the strongest arguments for organic food is the environment, and this is where organic farming truly shines in many areas. Organic farming tends to promote biodiversity, soil health, and sustainability. Because farmers avoid synthetic fertilizers and pesticides, the soil retains more organic matter, holds water better, and supports more life, from worms and fungi to bees and butterflies. Healthy soil acts like a sponge. It stores carbon, helps prevent erosion, and supports plant resilience during droughts. So yes, organic farms generally have richer, more balanced ecosystems. But the story doesn't end there. Organic farming also has challenges and trade-offs. For instance, organic crops usually yield 20 to 30% less food per acre than conventional ones. That means you'd need more land to grow the same amount of food, and more land often means cutting into forests or wildlife habitats. If the entire planet switched to organic overnight, it could require up to 25% more farmland, which would actually increase deforestation and greenhouse gas emissions. Another point, some organic fertilizers, like manure, can release methane and nitrous oxide, both powerful greenhouse gases. So, while organic farming avoids synthetic chemicals, it's not automatically carbon neutral or climate perfect. Still, many experts agree that organic farming has a positive impact on soil and water health, and it encourages long-term sustainability. The real challenge is finding a balance, perhaps combining the best practices from both organic and conventional systems, a method sometimes called integrated farming. Let's talk about the part that hits your wallet: price. Organic food is often much more expensive, sometimes 50% to 100% higher than conventional equivalents. There are several reasons for this. Lower yields mean less product per acre. Labor-intensive practices like hand weeding and composting take more time and effort. Certification costs are high, and farmers have to meet strict standards. Organic farms can't use cheap synthetic fertilizers or mass-scale pest control, which makes production slower. Now, here's the tricky part. For families on tight budgets, buying all organic can feel impossible. And honestly, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can be strategic. Environmental groups like the Environmental Working Group EWG publish annual lists like the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. The Dirty Dozen includes fruits and vegetables that tend to have the highest pesticide residues, like strawberries, spinach, kale, and apples. If you want to go organic, focus on those. Meanwhile, foods like avocados, pineapples, and onions are naturally low in residues, so you can save money and buy them conventional. At the end of the day, the goal isn't to eat perfectly organic, it's to eat balanced, fresh, and nutritious food within your budget.
Maybe the real question isn't whether organic food is better, but whether we can be better at choosing, growing, and respecting the food we eat. Every bite we take connects us to the earth, to farmers, and to the future. So eat with purpose, live with awareness, and remember, real change starts on your plate. Thank you for watching. Would you like me to match the outro style to the long script I wrote, more like a YouTube documentary voiceover? If yes, I can polish one of them to blend perfectly with that tone.